waking up with us here at 7 a.m. I'm Michelle Vias. You're watching a special digital edition of Today in LA Weekend that's streaming on NBCLA app and on NBCLA.com. Now, we already saw record-breaking temperatures this week, and it's only going to get hotter. We have team coverage of the extreme heat and that flex alert. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Shawna Mendiola. Good morning, Shawna.
Good morning, Michelle, and happy Saturday to all of you. We are looking at dangerous heat across Southern California, and we don't say that lightly because from the beaches and inland, we've got temperatures that are going to be record-breaking and in the 90s even for the coastline. That's typically where we get relief from the heat, and today is not going to be one of those days. Check out those numbers here. This morning, we are in the 60s and 70s, which is comfortable compared to what we're going to get to here in the next few hours. So if you can get things done early, you got to do it now, because as we head to the mid-morning hours, we're going to be rising pretty fast in terms of the temperatures. The air is dry. You're going to be going to about 108 in LA, 115 in the valley and inland, record-breaking for sure, and high desert temperatures, 108 there. So we're going to be even hotter in the lower elevations than those desert locations. In the mountains, about 88, which is very hot. And again, today's one of those days you have to plan around the heat. You do not want to be outside during those peak hours of the day to stay safe, everyone. Air condition is going to be your friend in the key. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up and let you know if there's any relief in sight in the next few days. I'll send it back to you in the studio, Michelle.
Oppressive is the best way to describe this heat. Thank you, Shawna. Those extreme temperatures can get dangerous, and with people trying to stay cool at home, we could see rolling blackouts like we did last month. Let's go to NBC4's Ted Chen live at Lake Balboa, where it's expected to be around 115 today. And Ted, it's crazy to imagine that temperatures are going to jump by 40 degrees just today in some areas. Good morning.
Crazy and scary to imagine, Michelle. That's why now, as Shawna said, is the time to get out. In fact, right now, it is very comfortable, very nice, even crisp at Lake Balboa in Van Nuys right now. So much so that we even saw some people wearing sweatshirts this morning as they're getting their morning workout. So now is the time, taking Shawna's advice, to get out, take your walk, take your jog, get on your bicycle. We even saw some people fishing this morning as it's right around, the early 70s right now, but that's going to change dramatically. As you all mentioned, it's going to flirt with the 1-teens today in the San Fernando Valley, which means later today you got to do all the things you have to do to stay cool. It also means conserving power. A flex alert in effect through Monday, which means we're being asked to conserve electricity from 3 p.m. to 9 at night to avoid the possibility of rolling blackouts. Do not blast your AC if you have it. Set it to 78 degrees. Avoid using major appliances, and also turn off unnecessary lights. Also a good idea to do all of your charging, cell phones, laptops, electric cars even, before 3 p.m. and unplug all of those so-called energy vampires that use a lot of electricity. Also, pre-cool your home if you can. Right now, ventilate it, air it out, so you can get as much cool air in there as possible before things get really hot.
Just do my thing now, just kind of enjoy the day and then stay indoors.
Southern California Edison officials acknowledge that because of the pandemic, there are fewer options to go out and stay cool. You can't go to the mall or movie theater like you used to, but there are cooling centers open in the city of Los Angeles and in LA County, and you can check our website to find a list of them. Reporting live from Van Nuys, Ted Chen, NBC4 News. Michelle, back to you.
Always good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much, Ted. The heat we're going to see this weekend is so dangerous that we spoke to the emergency room medical director at Cedars-Sinai, about the warning signs of heat stroke.
The term heat stroke, think of it just like you think of other stroke, where there's something going on with someone's brain. If someone's not acting right and they're exposed to excessive heat, they may be experiencing heat stroke. So if they're confused, if they're lethargic, if you can't arouse them, if they're hallucinating, certainly if they're having coma and they seem completely out of it, that's a very concerning emergency. That's a scenario where you got to call 911.
Dr. Torbati says heat illness is a warning sign of heat stroke, and that can start off with cramps and exhaustion. If that happens, get into a cool place and hydrate. But what if you don't have air conditioning? We asked the doctor for some tips to stay cool.
There's lots of things people can do to cool down. If they don't have access to air conditioning, they can spray themselves. They can put their feet in ice water. They can use a fan to spritz themselves. And a really good trick is actually, if you don't have air conditioning, but you just have a fan, if you put a fan in front of a bowl of ice, and as the fan moves air, it's going to, for the most part, function as a mini air conditioner. You'd be surprised at how cool that can allow for a room to achieve.
Good tips. A cold shower works too. And over in Orange County, gyms, dine-in restaurants, and movie theaters, as well as churches, could all reopen after Labor Day, just as long as there aren't any spikes in cases. But first, getting through the holiday weekend and the record-breaking heat, NBC4's Hetty Chang shows us how people are trying to find relief.
Sunset peeked through the row of power lines outside Anaheim's packing district. The heat and the grid both set to reach extremes Labor Day weekend.
I'm going skydiving tomorrow, so I'll stay cool there for sure.
I thought it was going to be like 105.
Anaheim expected to climb even higher, possibly breaking a record. One of several hotspots where outdoor dining in triple digits may not be so pleasant.
Saturday, I'll probably just hang out the house. But Sunday we'll be golfing in the morning. We'll be home by 1.
We have a unique situation because I'm a flight attendant, so I'll be dealing with the crowds over the weekend.
Labor Day travel likely much lighter during the pandemic, but crowds are expected everywhere along Southern California's coastline. Beaches are wide open from Orange County to LA, but you must wear a mask and keep social distancing.
Hopefully everyone stays protected, but I doubt it.
This holiday weekend is critical, especially here in Orange County, where if the COVID numbers continue on a steady decline, come Tuesday, retail can further reopen and people can start dining indoors at limited capacity.
Well, I'm a little excited just because I heard the gyms are also going to open up.
Gyms could open at 10% capacity in Orange County, and churches and movie theaters too, with restrictions. But it all depends on whether the COVID numbers stay down through a busy holiday weekend, when indoor relief from the heat won't be as easy to find. In Anaheim, Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
The Angeles National Forest is expecting record crowds this weekend, people looking to escape the heat as well. This video from July 12th showing the traffic and congestion and what's expected this weekend. Chantry Flat and Millard Canyon campgrounds will be closed through the holiday to limit overcrowding and the risk of wildfires. Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. There are fears that the Labor Day weekend will spark outbreaks in the state. This morning, the nation's top doctor added to the confusion about the timing of a potential COVID-19 vaccine. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams said he wants to make sure states across the country are available to distribute it in November, just in case a vaccine is ready by then. The head of the World Health Organization said the agency won't recommend any vaccine before it's proven safe and effective. In LA County, a total of 31 children have now developed a multi-system inflammatory syndrome that's linked to COVID-19. Beach cities are bracing for huge crowds this weekend. Some beaches like Hermosa and Manhattan have hired private security companies to enforce those mask rules, a $100 fine for your first offense. Around 200 people will get free COVID-19 antibody testing in South LA today. It's happening at the Southside Church of Christ on West Manchester Avenue from 1 to 5. Signing up in advance is recommended. To register, go to mycovidmd.app. Oprah is also providing free meals to give away. And a mural honoring the late actor Chadwick Boseman will also be revealed at the event. Well, not all COVID-19 testing sites will be open this weekend. The city of LA is temporarily closing some locations because of the extreme heat. They will also be closed Monday on Labor Day. A full list of testing sites is available at our website, NBCLA.com. A Long Beach man became the first to be injected with one of the potential COVID-19 vaccines. Jorge Vega got the shot developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca. It's in a phase 3 of the clinical trials at Harbor UCLA Medical Center. Vega was selected because as a 62-year-old Latinx waiter, he's more likely to get sick from COVID-19.
I have seen some people getting sick or passing away, unfortunately, due to this. So I want to help to stop this.
In LA County are participating in this trial. It's one of 3 vaccines worldwide now in phase 3, one of the final steps before FDA approval. We know the holiday weekend brings the temptation to have family get-togethers, but with the current pandemic and a new statewide campaign, it's aimed at helping you avoid that temptation.
The family that gathers together infects together. You're all here.
That's one of the new public service announcements from California's Public Health Department. They're aimed at curbing Labor Day gatherings while encouraging people to wear masks and to practice physical distancing. And those so-called pandemic parties like this one in the Hollywood Hills are a concern the I-Team has been tracking. The large parties are a violation of LA's COVID-19 guidelines, and during this holiday weekend, the LAPD tells us they will be cracking down.
Sometimes these calls can take a long time for the officers to arrive. So by having this increased deployment over the holiday, we hope that that response time will shrink down.
And the city is issuing fines to people who rent their homes for just parties. And the mayor has ordered LADWP to shut off the power for repeat offenders. A judge says he expects to have a ruling next week on a Sun Valley church that continues to hold indoor services. LA County sued the Grace Community Church last month for violating health orders. The county has unsuccessfully tried to get a restraining order against the church 4 times. Church members have been seen not wearing masks and not practicing social distancing during those indoor services. A man flying in a jetpack above LAX. Where was he going? Well, the feds are now hoping someone out there can help them find that out.
Tower, American 1997. We just passed a guy in a jetpack.
The FBI posted this map online showing where the jetpack was spotted. This happened on Sunday night. A pilot was approaching the airport near where the 710 freeway intersects with the 105. That's when he and a few other pilots reportedly saw the jetpack and radioed the tower. The FBI wants anyone with information to reach out to them. The person with the jetpack that was flying apparently about 3,000 feet high. Let's go to meteorologist Shauna Mendiola now back with a closer look at those dangerous, scorching temperatures. Shauna, good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. It is going to be a hot day. We know that, but we want you to be safe.
Yes.
So again, get everything done that you need to get done early here this morning, because once we get to the mid-morning hours, you're going to feel the heat outside, and it's not going to be the typical heat that we get during heat waves. We're going to see temperatures record-breaking here today, records we haven't seen in at least 50 years for some spots. So here's a look outside right now. Get things done early. If you're at the beaches, 61 in Oxnard, I want to tell you, things are going to be warming up at least 30 to even 40 degrees there here today. So just shows you the big spike that we're going to see by this afternoon. 70 degrees right now in downtown LA, 67 Lancaster, 75 in San Bernardino. That is the coolest temperature that you are going to see all day long here today as we start your Saturday. Now I'm going to go ahead and transfer over to some of our records that we have here on the map. You are going to see temperature records in areas like downtown LA. 108 on the way here today. Last time we saw a temperature like that was in 1984. With 105 for that record. I'll go ahead and show you that Anaheim's also going to beat a record. 114 on the way, 115 for Riverside, and Woodland Hills, 116 is coming your way. That is typical temperatures of a excessive heat day in the desert, but we're going to see that here in the lower elevations. So a ridge of high pressure is heating us up. We're going to continue to see excessive heat warnings. We've shown you this for the past 3 days, and that continues. Everyone in Southern California, with no exception, is going to see temperatures that are going to break records and be possibly risky to your health if you don't take the proper precautions and stay inside here today. So we do recommend that air conditioning. And if you don't have air conditioning, we do have a list of cooling centers on our website, NBCLA.com, for you to refer to. Looking at that red flag warning map, we have fire threats also with this heat in the Inland Empire, Fontana through Riverside and Lake Elsinore. You're one of those areas that we're going to continue to see some high fire threats. And this starts this morning at 10 a.m. and lasts through tomorrow night as we get a little bit of wind here to, again, kick up some of that heat and really make it risky in terms of that threat. And we're also going to see an ozone advisory. And what does this mean? Air quality is bad. So you're going to want to stay inside, not just from the heat, the fire threats, also that air quality is going to be bad in the Inland Empire, the valleys, and also for the LA Basin through Labor Day, which is on Monday. So we've got several days where this is going to affect us. Deserts looking at extreme heat here today. You're under that warning. You will see temperatures at about 110 in Victorville and Edwards Air Force Base. The mountains in the 80s, but Inland Empire, you're even hotter than the high desert. Wow, it's just going to be a hot day here today. San Bernardino, you're at 116, one of the hottest temperatures around. 115 for Riverside with record-breaking heat for you. Lake Elsinore could possibly break a record at 112. For Orange County, look for Anaheim coming in at 114. What a hot day. Can't remember the last time it was like that. It is going to be another hot day for you here, but even hotter in Valencia with 116 coming, 109 Thousand Oaks, 90s at the beaches. That's where we typically see more relief, but we are not going to see that today as you are going to hit 92 in Santa Monica, Manhattan Beach 93, into downtown LA even hotter at 108, 112 for you in Glendale, and we've got that heat warning even into Pomona with 112 here today. Where is the relief? We really need that, but it's not going to be here even through Labor Day. So the next 3 days are really going to be very critical in terms of watching out for one another, looking out for our pets as well, and again, looking out for the elderly as well who may need some of that help. We've got temperatures in the triple digits today and tomorrow. For you on Labor Day, will finally come down to the 90s. But the thing is, we're not going to see overnight relief. If I show you these temperatures overnight, Sunday night into Monday, it'll be 82 degrees in LA and Orange County. So without that overnight relief, where we drop to the 60s and 70s, it's going to stay hot and still put you at a risk of heat-related illness. Now, Tuesday, a lot better, 88 degrees in LA. But look at what happens as we head to Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be such a quick relief that we're not going to get that recovery here for the rest of the week. We're still going to be in the 90s for the later part of our week with another ridge setting up. So all this is, a ridge is a high pressure that come in during the summer, but the ones that are coming in now are just so hot that we haven't seen temperatures like this in years. Temperatures for you here today at the beaches, 94 degrees today, 96 on Sunday. Labor Day, still hot in the 80s. Where's the recovery for you? Doesn't look to be here coming up this week. We're only going to get 1 day in the 80s, and then you go up to 92 on Wednesday. Thursday, 90. Valley forecast also very, very hot. 114 for the next couple days. We are jumping at least 10 degrees here today from yesterday. And then we continue the trend of those triple digits here coming through Wednesday. 90s Thursday and Friday for us in the valleys. However, still above average. And temperature-wise, that is going to put you at a risk of heat-related illness all the way through the rest of the week, even if we don't have any warning. So we're watching that. We're also watching the fire threats because with this dry, hot weather, that is always a problem. So please cross your fingers and do your part to reduce that threat, everybody. We've got your high desert forecast, also very hot, triple digits and 90s here all week long. And you've got the mountains also breaking some records here possible, 80s and 90s. 90 degrees tomorrow in the mountains. Going to be a hot day there, 80s for Labor Day here. And there is going to be some relief for you there on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, to the upper 70s, which is still very warm. So all week long, we are looking at heat here, folks, but the first couple days of this week are going to be very hot all the way through Labor Day holiday. Not one of those holidays you want to spend outside for sure. So please look out for one another and stay tuned right here on NBCLA.com for all the latest updates. Michelle, stay cool, stay safe. I'll send it back to you.
Same to you, Shauna. And we thank you for joining us this morning. When you're on the go, stay connected. Get the latest news, weather, and traffic right to your phone from the NBCLA app or on NBCLA.com.